The CAL FIRE folks that did the inspection this year said this was the best piece of property they saw.
Theoretically, it will make it safer. There's no safe place to be in the mountains because fire is so random, and we work hard to make our place safe from ground fire, but ground fire isn't the game much anymore. We're getting a lot of crown fire, these fire nados and stuff like that, and for those it's just Katie barred the door. We don't have, we can't manage for that kind of a fire. So what we manage for is for ground fire. And we've seen from the videos that the McCash fire team has posted about some of those nice smoldering burns that just are ground burns. Those are ideal. Those are ideal. And that's all we can manage for, because once it gets into a tree that's 100 feet tall, then you have fire making its own weather. You have trees that are dry, and some of them are bug damaged, and they just want to burn. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a perimeter around us. So we still have some things here that need to go. That manzanita is just like a bomb. We had it as a specimen manzanita. We cut down all the other ones, but this year we decided we're gonna get rid of it. So come the fall, when chainsaw use is safer, we're gonna get rid of that one. It's a beautiful, beautiful specimen of manzanita, but it's just too volatile. So our major danger is coming from the west side. So we've done a lot of work on the west side of our property here to have adequate spacing. And again, that helps in a ground fire. And then the trees that we have around the house are deciduous trees. They're not as likely to burn as the conifers are. But you can see here's a pile that we burned. And in the spring, this was pretty much clear of any needles and leaves. And then we start getting, the trees themselves start shedding needles, and so the cycle repeats itself. So it's an ongoing process. And people that want to have a place in the woods need to kind of know what they're signing up for in terms of fire prevention. It's really year-round because we're on a south-facing slope here, so it dries out really early. And we can start early. We can start in the winter, actually, doing clearing and thinning. So in 1994, forgive this really funky little, this is a dog-proof gate here. We survived a big fire called the Rat Fire that was near Leavenworth, Washington. We were living in orchard land, so we thought we were safe, but we weren't. So even though there was a lot of irrigated lawns, the trees were fruit trees, there was water available, the force of that fire was so much that half our neighborhood burned down. And we had a cedar shake house and a cedar shake roof, and Bruce put up roof sprinklers. And the houses around us burned and ours made it. So we are big advocates of roof sprinklers now. And we've also installed in our attic vents, now California Building Code requires you to have special kind of attic vents where the embers won't enter the attic, because a study back in the, when was it, the 80s or so, showed that most of the homes that burned from the inside out. So that's an important thing to do too. The two places that made it had 35-foot tree spacing. So that has been our goal since we got here. We've just finished our 3rd round of thinning. You can't do it all at once because the trees die, but we're now close to that 35-foot spacing. And so as we walk up here, you'll see there's a lot of stumps. And what we've tried to do is make kind of islands where there's no trees, because animals and birds need protection and shelter and nesting areas. But what we're trying to do is slow the fire down if it comes through as a ground fire through these islands of cleared trees. So we were burning up until May when it got too dry because of our slope to burn. And we have literally been raking the forest and putting the stuff into a dumpster. We've been doing that since May, and we're still doing it. And this was, again, totally clean, and you can see how much buildup is possible just in a few months. So yeah, it's something that you really have to, it's a constant job. It's not one and done. We're too old now to do it ourselves, and we hire professionals to do it because it's dangerous. It's very dangerous work. In the Forest Service, you have to be certified to be a faller. You have to go through extensive training and then apprentice. So it's dangerous work, and we hire experienced people. And then we are able, because of our heating system that we have, which is a European masonry heater, to burn pine in it, which is the most prevalent wood up here. And it's kind of part of our whole, kind of living in a sustaining way. So keep fire out so the remaining trees are safer, and then use the products that we kill, the trees, to heat our home. So we're kind of proud of our research and system. This is actually in a CAL FIRE protection area. So the Forest Service and CAL FIRE, with these crazy property boundaries and stuff, they assign these lines and then put one agency in charge of a fire, structure fire, or fires threatening a structure when it happens. So yes, the McCash fire was very much on our mind, and everybody on the teams has been really, really great in terms of sharing information, current information about what was going on, the strategy. And no, we're not ignoring these places, even though, Happy Camp was in the crosshairs. They were the Happy Camp, Elk Creek, T-Bar at one time, all those communities going over into the Salmon River side were all threatened, and threatened from both sides, the river complex side and then down west of Happy Camp and Dillon Creek Campground. And so we've been very, very appreciative of the attention that the fire teams have given us for our little corner of the world. Like, this means something to us, even though the focus is in those bigger communities. This has the potential to affect us, and we really appreciated just the overwhelming responsiveness that we got as far as what was happening.